This podcast is part of the Podcast Arcade Network.
This Hero Quest time again, and I've got Kurgan here, a veteran Hero Quest player. He and I talked about a year or so ago, so I'll put a link in the show notes for the previous episode. You can go back and listen to the previous one and then listen to this one as well. So thanks, Kurgan, for coming back. I really appreciate it, and hopefully you can have some fun talking about the Hero Quest reboot, or I guess what's the proper verbiage for this, Kurgan?
Thanks for having me, Lee. Good to be here. Yeah, it's I call it the remake.
Remake,
Hasbro
okay.
Remake.
Okay.
2021 remake. Oh, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if there is an official. I don't know what Hero Quest fans have called it. I think reboot, remake, kind of interchange.
Whatever you want to do. Yeah. For me, I call this the remake, and I call it classic.
There we go.
Original Hero Quest.
I think that's what they're calling.
Even though that encompasses lots of different versions.
It does.
But we'll get into that.
Yeah, definitely. So, what I wanted to talk about is, I guess we talked, like I said, last year about this before it came out, before the remake came out, and you had some opinions on it of then. I want to hear kind of, okay, now it's been a year, it's been out, you've had a chance to unbox it and play it and mess around with it and get some feedback from other people. What do you think is different now versus what your opinion of it was a year or so ago before it came out?
Oh, yeah. It's hard to believe it's been a year. It's crazy.
I know. It's crazy, isn't it?
Flies.
It does.
Even though some of us have just been kind of like, living in our basements, and it's like, here's where you put in the joke. It's like, wait, how is that different?
Yeah,
that's always,
there you go.
Like,
kids, we died to stay in our basement for weeks on end. Now we can't wait to get out, I guess.
I would say when the whole thing started, I had a lot of mixed emotions, a lot of mixed feelings about the whole thing, because it was very unclear to me what Hasbro was really doing with this. And there was a lot of sort of negative speculation. And I listened to a lot of it myself, because I thought, for all I know, this is just going to be some quick cash grab. This is going to be a mobile game, or this is going to be something that only 1,000 people are going to get through the website, and then it's going to go on eBay, and that's it. And Hero Quest isn't really back. It's just a big hype thing, and we're all going to get reeled in. So I was kind of steeling myself for something like that to happen. But my overall reaction now, and after you hear this, you can just end the podcast. Just kidding. No, is that
we're done?
Is that no? It ended up being just fine.
Yep.
And most of the problems that we're seeing right now with like supply chain stuff and like pre-orders and stuff being out of stock and all that sort of thing seems to be not really the fault of Hasbro. I mean, maybe they should have planned better, but everybody that wanted to get the game got it, and then everybody that didn't hear about the pledge drive, which was probably most fans, they're just like, oh wait, there was a pledge. I never heard about that. They're going to get it in retail.
Yes.
Which is what I wanted from the beginning, which was, okay, you can just walk into a store or call up the store, order your game, and get it. And that'll be happening in like 2 months. So in 2 months, pretty much everybody is going to get the game. Now, there's a few countries that
I can get it on Amazon right now, or you could.
Yeah. You have to keep checking. So it's a little bit of a rocky start, but it looks like what always should have been is happening, and so I'm happy about that. And a lot of my, I guess, trepidation about what's going to be in the Quest books, and are they going to make changes, all that kind of uncertainty, because they're very tight-lipped about it.
Yeah, they were
the whole time, and it didn't really make a whole lot of sense, because for some stuff, like with the new heroes, they were very much like, okay, we want you to play test this and give us feedback, and then we're like asking all these questions, and then they're just like nothing.
Total silence.
It's like, okay, what's the point of that? And so there was a lot of, this, maybe they don't know what they're doing. This is going to be a big flop.
I think that's where you got a lot of veteran fans were skeptical. It's like, you guys are really tight-lipped, and being tight-lipped, I think, from Hasbro fed that fear, I guess, from veteran fans. Do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I spent a lot of time on Ye Olde Inn, and it's funny because when I was listening to your original podcast, like
Yeah.
the very first episode where you talked about Dwayne Agan and all that, I
Yes.
realized that it was Agan's Inn back in the
It
day when I
was.
first visited.
Yes.
I didn't realize that the site had changed to Ye Olde Inn,
Yeah.
but it's cool how that whole community came back
Oh
in a
yeah.
big way
They
after the
did.
first.
Some of those diehards
Yeah.
have been around since the late '90s.
Oh
Because I,
yeah,
I think I found Dwayne Agan's in '98 or '99. I can't remember. It was real
way
early.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was way before because I had pretty much forgotten all about Hero Quest, and I was just doing video games and school, and my friends doing whatever, and just totally forgot about it. But yeah, that community, I jumped in, and at first I didn't want to share my creations. I was just reading other people's posts for a long time, so lurked for a long time, and then finally just started doing stuff, and I was just amazed how quickly you could kind of get into a conversation, kind of like when you meet an old friend that you haven't talked to in like 10 years, and it's just like no time went by. So all these people are talking about, and it wasn't like, oh well, why do you think you can be a part of our community? It was just like, nah, you played Hero Quest, it's all good. And so I enjoyed listening to other people's opinions and hearing a lot of the same stuff that I was concerned about, which was, okay, as we all know, every franchise has fanboys, right? And when I think of a fanboy, I think of somebody who is either their opinion is the only opinion that's allowed, meaning like, oh, I hate Batman because he, wears black now and he's terrible. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, there's that type of fanboy. And the other type of fanboy is like, oh, no matter what it is, they just love it. So it's like, okay, Batman's green now. Oh, that's the best. Green is the best color. Oh no, just kidding. He's blue. Oh well, blue is the best color. Like, and if you don't like that, you're not a real fan. So I was like, okay, I'm going to tune those people out, and I don't want to be that guy. But most of the people were very open and honest, and they would say, okay, this is why I liked Hero Quest. This is what I changed about it, because people have been doing homebrew like all this time,
Oh yeah.
and we realized, okay, the new game is going to be it's going to be a package, and for a lot of people this is going to be the first time they've ever seen Hero Quest, so we want it to be as good as it possibly can be. But then the question is, okay, what things are they going to retain from the old game, and what things are they going to change or add?
Hmm.
And so a lot of us were concerned, well, what's going to happen? So now that
Yeah.
we know that, and if it's okay to get into it now.
Yeah. Let's go ahead. Go ahead and dive
Yeah,
in.
okay, so very little has changed, and that's really what I wanted all along, and I think that's what a lot of fans wanted all along, which is that they weren't going to completely revise the lore and the story. They weren't
Mhm.
going to completely change the gameplay into something else. A lot of people were worried because, okay, Hasbro owns Dungeons and Dragons, and Dungeons and Dragons is a big
Okay.
hype machine, and they're like, okay, they're going to change Hero Quest to be like Dungeons and Dragons instead.
Yeah.
But I thought, how could that be? Because they're still selling Dungeons and Dragons, and they have like the beginner, my first quest type of thing in stores, and so Hero Quest is it's not going to compete with itself, so it's going to be its own thing.
Yeah.
And so that was a relief. Not that I have anything against that other game. It's just that
Sure.
it's a different game,
It is. Yeah.
So
Different
if you're going to
audience.
sell, yeah. So if McDonald's buys out Burger King, it's like, okay, we're still going to have the Whopper and the Big Mac. It's just its own thing.
Yep. Good point. Good
So
analogy.
yeah, and the whole loss of Games Workshop in there, it was very interesting because I just watched a video and I'm forgetting the guy's name already. He doesn't even do much gaming stuff. He mostly does stuff with like spirituality. I wish I could remember the guy's name. It was on YouTube,
Okay.
but he did a Hero Quest video, and it was so interesting because here was a guy from the UK, I believe, and he grew up with heavily Games Workshop, Citadel, Warhammer influenced European version of Hero Quest, and he was like, "I'm glad it's gone." I was like, "What?"
Oh.
I would have thought, that nostalgia would have been so strong, but he
Yeah.
was talking about how, and I've seen this from other people talking about how, Games Workshop is all about selling miniatures, of course, with Warhammer and Warhammer 40K, Age of Sigmar, all that stuff. And of course, that's their whole business model, but it's a totally different type of like ethos and community and product than Hero Quest. Hero Quest
Sure.
is you buy the box and you're done.
Yeah.
Really. The rest
Yep.
you just make up on your own. Yeah, there's expansions and things, but it's mostly just a spark to do your own creative stuff.
Yep.
Whereas Warhammer is more about collecting and painting
Yes.
and collecting more and painting more and
Painting more,
revising.
yes. Yeah, yeah.
And it's endless. And as a hobby, it's like it's very expensive.
It
Maybe not
is.
as expensive as the old wargaming, guys where they had to, build all the terrain and everything and,
Yeah.
paint all your lead soldiers. But it just, that was very inaccessible for a lot of people. And so having Hero Quest as its self-contained thing was the main appeal. And it feels like this version has retained that. And so we just said, it's like, well, I'm glad Games Workshop is out of it because they've become so greedy and just annoying that I don't mind. And actually, a lot of the things people commented on, they said, well, who can copyright chaos? Nobody can copyright chaos. So
Yeah, I
why
know.
Chaos Warriors is like, oh, that combination of words. But I don't know. I sort of, in my mind, I thought maybe they just did it out of respect, saying, okay, we know Hero Quest was a collaborative effort originally. Milton Bradley got together with Games Workshop, Stephen Baker, and all that, and they, is this perfect storm of a product.
Yeah.
But now that Games Workshop is not there, okay, fine, we're going to just call them Dread Warriors now. Everybody
I
knows what we're talking about.
I'm sure there was a meeting with lawyers about that, I bet you.
They said, we've changed it just enough.
Yeah.
Because in my head, I'm thinking, if they really wanted to take him to court over it, I mean,
That's
couldn't
true.
they? Because
Yeah.
it's so. But the fact that they just kind of just put a little dot of paint on it and said, okay, it's different now.
Yeah.
That allows all the veteran players to go, yeah, we get it.
Yeah.
It's the same game. It's the same game.
It is.
And then brand new people just have no idea, so they're
Yeah.
not affected
That's a
by
good
it.
point.
But you get to have all the same stuff. Yeah.
Speaking of brand new people, have you got some opinions back from brand new Hero Quest players? Have you heard either in person or online what their opinions are of, yeah, they don't know anything about Chaos Warriors and Femmers and all that stuff. What have you heard?
Yeah, it's funny because I was just looking at Reddit right before I got on here with you, and I was reading some stuff from people. And on Ye Olde Inn, we get new people, but it's a trickle compared to like Facebook and Twitter and all these other places, which I try not to spend a lot of time there because it's just endless. It just sucks up all your time. I prefer to talk to people that kind of know the stuff. Most of the people that I'm hearing from, it seems to be they have some memory of Hero Quest from back in the day, so they're not completely new,
Okay.
but they're playing it with their kids, and their kids are just
Yep.
like, oh, it's fun, it's
Yep.
got stuff to do, and they're just kind of experiencing it. And so it's cool to see that. But then you also get people that say, well, I pledged because my friends all told me that Hero Quest was great, so I thought I'd get into it, or I saw the Bardic broadcasts and it was funny, so I want to be part of
Yeah.
a meme for $150. I mean, I guess
Yeah.
it's a lot to pay for a meme, but
It is.
they got in, and they are coming up with the same types of stuff that a lot of us have discussed already a million times. Like, well, I don't like the fact that I have to keep rolling to move, so
Yep.
what do I do? Or do you have to walk up to the treasure chest to search it? I mean, I don't understand. Or they say, well, what if you run out of treasure cards? Do you have to shuffle every time or just at the beginning of the quest? And so it's like they see the vagueness in the rules, and they're asking for advice of
Yep.
us, of veteran fans. Like, what are the homebrew rules that make the game better or worse,
Yeah.
in your opinion? And then they start to see the variety of solutions we've all come up with, where some people want to make the game more complex, some people want to
Mhm.
make it simpler, some people want to just strictly follow it by the book as much as possible. So
Yeah.
I find that fun that they're going through that same process that we all went through, whether it was
Oh
in the
yeah.
early 90s or for me like in 2002 or whatever.
I agree with you on the dads or moms introducing it to the kids, so the kids are getting the same type of air quotes here magic of being 10 and
Yeah.
playing with the furniture, playing with the characters, and just having the same fun that we all did when we were 8, 9, 10, 11 years old or whatever it was that when we first picked it up. So, well, what about the veteran fans? I mean, we already kind of touched on some of that. What are the veteran fans saying, you think, for the most part on the re-release or the remake?
I can't speak for everyone, of course, but
Sure.
for me and for a lot of people I've seen, I think the biggest, I guess, negative was just the way it was marketed. It seems like there just wasn't much time for people to get involved, and a lot more people would have gotten involved
Sure.
if they'd heard about it. And so now it feels just kind of like they dangled this, treasure chest in front of us and went, "Ha, psych." You know, okay, well, you can have a smaller treasure chest later.
Yeah.
Just wait a
Yeah.
little. And so they're kind of like, I think most of the questions were regarding the new material. Okay, so it's like, okay, we've seen the game system; it's pretty much the same. They've changed, Black Fire Pass to Dark Fire Pass, and Chaos to Dread. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Sure.
Whatever. Okay, there's the elf is female now. Well, okay, I guess you can get a male elf if you get it through Hasbro Pulse, and that's not a big deal. So I was looking at the new quest books, and
Yep.
do you have it too?
Yeah.
Do you have the
Yeah. I
game?
got the Mythic. So yeah, I've got them all.
Okay.
Yep.
So Prophecy of Telor,
Okay.
my mini review is this is an excellent quest pack. I don't know how you feel about it, but just the fact that it was Stephen Baker, okay, a lot of people were
Yep.
like, ooh, celebrity worship, hero, he's come back. And I thought, well, how do we know he's got the skill anymore? I mean, for all we know, he just, he needed a paycheck and he just showed up. But I really feel, even with before playing it, just reading through it, that he just poured, his heart out into it. And I don't know if he did it all by himself or if he had help, but I wouldn't be
Sure.
surprised if he did it himself. And there's so much story in there. You can
There
tell he
is.
really felt for everybody that didn't like playing as the wizard, because he did as much as he could to make the wizard, like, give him stuff to do and
Yes.
give him options. And it's like, oh, it's a really cool story.
Yeah.
And so Prophecy of Telor, I thought, gee, that was worth it. That was definitely worth
Mhm.
pledging as opposed to waiting.
Yeah.
And then all the people that didn't get it are like, oh man, can you like slip me a copy of that, under the door, maybe,
Scan that and
so I
send
can,
it to me.
yes, send it to me. And then you get the Spirit Queen's Torment. I think this one was controversial for a lot of people because I didn't know this guy, Teos Abadia, if I'm saying his name correctly.
Yeah. I didn't know anything about him either.
Never heard of him. It's like,
Yep.
okay, well, okay, new guy, whatever. But there were people, I guess, from the D&D community who were like, oh, I don't like this guy. I don't like the way he does stuff.
Oh, okay.
And so they were afraid, oh, he's going to screw up HeroQuest. And I thought, well, maybe, but
Yeah.
at the same time, I'm sure these guys have like guidelines and like, focus groups or whatever. Somebody is going to kind of edit their work.
Oh, yeah.
So no one person is going to be able to derail the whole project. I mean, even Stephen Baker himself back in the day, he wanted to do certain things with HeroQuest that Milton Bradley didn't let him
Yeah.
do.
Yep.
And maybe it was for the better. It's kind of like George Lucas, firing his editor. It's like, well,
Yes.
no, maybe keep that guy around, or his wife in that case, George Lucas's case. It's like the finished product ends up being okay, because sometimes artists don't know when to quit. It's like,
Yes.
just
Many authors that write books say that the best books they write is when they go back and take stuff out.
you're
Yeah.
forced to work within limitations,
Yes.
rather than just you can do anything and it just never gets done.
Yep.
So yeah, people were kind of like bad mouthing this guy, and I was like, I don't know what to think. I mean, because I wasn't part of that community. But yeah, looking at the Spirit Queen's Torment, which was the quest book he did, I guess the big thing was, okay, orcs are good guys now.
Yeah.
That was the thing. And
Yep.
people were like, come on, the orcs are just, these guys that you kill and, shove them out of the way because they're monsters, whatever.
Exactly.
Why would they be good? But I thought back to when I was a kid. And when I was a kid, I loved monsters. I loved to draw monsters. A lot of little boys, love to draw monsters. And
Sure.
uh, there'd be like good guy monsters. So there'd be
Yep.
monsters who would be the heroes, and they'd fight the other monsters. And I guess, it's like King Kong and Godzilla slugging it out.
Oh,
Whatever.
yeah. Yeah, there you go.
So I guess as a kid, if I had been presented with that, well, there's a couple of orcs that are on your side. Like, I
Mhm.
wouldn't have looked askance. Oh, okay, sure.
Sure. Yeah.
So I don't think that's necessarily betraying anything. I mean, the
Sure.
lore was very vague as far as it goes.
Mm-hmm.
I know that lurking in the background was the Warhammer fantasy world, but most of us
Yes.
didn't know about that stuff.
No.
And that's changed over time. I guess you had a time when you had orcs that were just, they had families like everybody else, and then there was another part where they were actually like fungus spores that would just like could grow, so I guess, oh, you're just killing a pile of mushrooms, so it's no big deal.
Grill them up, put them in our pizza.
Yeah, sure, why not? But I mean, but if you look back in HeroQuest, I mean, you had Grak and Ulag. I mean,
Yes.
he comes back to avenge his father's death, so they had families.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but
you can do it.
and Warcraft did this, and again, Warcraft is its own universe. HeroQuest is its own universe.
Yep.
Lord of the Rings, Tolkien. I mean, they're all different interpretations of these fantasy tropes, so they don't have to be the same.
Sure.
So the idea that there might be some orcs somewhere who are not completely evil is not totally bad.
Yeah.
But we were all wondering, how is it going to handle it? How is he going to tell this story in a way that, isn't really goofy and forced and silly? And reading through it, I thought it's not that bad. I mean, a lot of people were very negative about the bard hero,
Yeah, yeah.
the orc bard,
Some bard shade.
because
Hashtag bard shade.
yeah. Well, and we joked about how we should have, like, when we're doing the unboxing, of course, we were probably like the 50th people, just like I predicted,
Yeah.
to
yeah.
actually get our sets
Yep.
so we could do the video. I mean, think mine were, they delivered it on the back steps next to the trash cans. Like, what are you guys doing?
Oh,
They
gosh.
never made me sign for it or anything. But anyway, we were joking that, oh, okay, you should edit the camera. So like you open the box up on camera and you start to shake it out and like the bard falls out and then another one and it just keeps falling and it's just like a pile of them and there's nothing else inside the box.
Nothing in
And
there
it's
but
like,
bards.
no.
That'd be awesome.
It's like, you complain, so we give them all to you. And we even talked about like, okay, just take that guy out and mail it to me and I'll do that and I'll actually
Dump out a bucket of bards.
a bucket of bards. Well, the idea of a bard character, you have I guess he's a comedy character. He's a minstrel. He can like smash people over the head with his guitar and sing songs to make everybody inspired. I mean, that's kind of fun, I guess,
It's
to
different.
kind of break up the seriousness.
Exactly.
But why make him an orc? It's kind of the weird thing. Because having an orc on your side, like a monster mercenary, that's kind of a cool idea. Or he's twisted somehow and he's, they pushed him too far. He's like, I was tired of this old stuff.
Tired of killing the humans. I'm going to join him.
Yeah.
So it's something different. It's something out of left field, I guess, for us veteran fans. But again, new fans, it might not be.
A
big deal.
They're starting from scratch. They have no idea what Hero Quest is meant to be, and it just is. But the way they handled it is, okay, so the bard, you can either play as him as one of the four. So I guess he just takes the place of like the dwarf or the elf.
Yep.
But the way Teos did it is, if the first person who dies gets replaced by him, which is kind of weird. So you come back as the goofy. So it's like your punishment for dying is that you come back
bard.
as this flamboyant guy who's dressed like a pirate. Yeah. So I don't know. When I look at the bard, though, I don't have a problem with the mechanics of the character. Like, he has got the 3 spells. He's got the rapier. I mean, that's, whatever. I just see him as a cleric. Like, he's a cleric. Maybe give him a holy staff instead of a rapier.
Yeah.
He can still, do his battle chants or whatever they happen to be, but or make him a pirate. I mean, a pirate is kind of a cool, but why a bard, an orc bard? I don't know.
Okay, that'd be one of your criticisms, maybe. I guess it was like,
it's kind of a half-baked idea. A lot of people were speculating, and I've speculated too. Is like he had this idea of a character, and he's like, it's got to go in here somewhere.
Okay,
let me just shoehorn it in right here.
Yeah,
because he's an orc, I guess. Because you do get other orc allies in the story, but they're just regular orcs. It's like, so he follows us around for a while and whatever.
Yeah. It's like, okay. Yeah. But that's one of the things maybe that, in your opinion, maybe you don't like about the new system, I guess.
Well, I guess my reaction, and I don't know if it's sunk in yet with a lot of other people, is that there was this fear that, okay, the lore is going to be derailed and we're going to lose focus, and these new heroes are going to, kind of like a lot of other franchises, when you introduce like the next generation of new characters, like the old characters have to suffer so that the new characters can be pushed up.
Yes.
But really, they gave us no direction at all on these new heroes at all.
No.
Only the bard. It's like, oh yeah, he pops in if you die.
Yeah.
That's it. But there was no direction on the warlock, no direction on the druid.
That's true.
And we've got no direction on the knight either. So it's left completely up to the players.
Yeah.
And maybe that's for the best. So they limited the damage. Rather than
I
just
think that is for the best.
You must, the warlock must be the one who wins the day. And you're like, oh man, why does it have to be that? If you want to use them, great. If you don't, and really, most of the people that are going to play this game will not have the mythic tier, so they won't even know these characters exist. Really.
Exactly. Yeah. I think just like in true Hero Quest fashion, they just throw that stuff out there, and then they just let you play with it in the sandbox however you want.
Exactly.
And that's the way it kind of needs. Yes, that's the way it needs to be, in my opinion.
Yeah. And as far as the quality of the quests, I think the Spirit Queen's Torment, I mean, it has some interesting ideas sprinkled here and there, but mostly it's just I mean, I think in the previous podcast we talked about gimmicks,
Hmm.
about how
Yep.
the original 14 quests were great because it seemed like every quest had a new gimmick, a
It
new
did.
surprise or
Yes.
mechanic or little swerve
Yes.
to keep you interested, keep you on your toes. And Prophecy of Telor, Stephen Baker, he definitely did that in
Yep.
spades. He
Yes.
had gimmick after gimmick after gimmick, and it never got old. It was always interesting. Spirit Queen's Torment has a few of those, maybe not as well done, I think,
Yeah.
but it still feels like it could be an interesting quest, especially if you haven't played for 30 years and you're like, oh, let's ease back in, but with something new. I think Spirit Queen's Torment could work that way because the difficulty isn't that high as far
Yeah.
as like monster, because you can count up the monster body points on the quest map and the number of traps and kind of estimate, well, how long is this going to take to play?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Kind
I
of
think
doing
there
some
was a
mental math in your head as
yeah,
you're.
some mental math. Well, so people have come up with like charts and graphs and calculators. It's crazy. I think I even counted up how much gold you'd get at the end of the 14 quests one time. It was like almost 5,000. It's like, okay, so what could you buy, and then what would you have to sell to make it all work?
Oh, awesome.
Assuming you're playing it straight.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think so they had to replace the ephemeres with abominations, or
Yes.
they had to. They wanted to make
Chose
these
to. Yeah.
fish monsters. Yeah, and it's a cool looking monster, but I miss the ephemer, and
I
I
do. Yeah.
realized they didn't have permission and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, well, actually, I think this might have been Stephen Baker's pack, but they came up with an underwater level. It's like, oh, great.
Hmm.
So they're water monsters in a water maze.
Ah,
Perfect.
yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, there's all kinds of little things. But when we get to the third one, Joe Manganiello, I think is how you
Yep.
say his name.
Yes.
So he's this kind of this celebrity guy that kind of just parachuted in, and he has his hand in all this stuff. I'd never heard of the guy, but he had the 10 quests, and
Hmm.
I kind of felt sorry for him because it's like, okay, his stretch goal didn't get reached in the pledge drive. It's like, oh well, he was going to give us a big dragon.
Yeah.
Big dragon. How many of us came up with dragons for Hero Quest? Probably a lot of us. It's
Oh
like,
yeah.
okay, this
Me
little
too. I had one.
Godzilla toy is,
Yeah.
yeah. We our gaming group played with one. We even had a little tavern too.
Oh,
It's like
nice.
we thought we were being cute, but it's like, okay, lots of people have come up with the same idea. So he comes up with this quest pack, and I don't know who he took out to dinner or talked into letting them just make it. So we
He's
got
dating the VP of Hasbro's daughter or
right,
something, you know.
right. It's like it said, okay, fine. His stuff will get released too. It's like, oh great. So
Yeah.
we got all the stretch goals of
Hmm.
everything, and that's great.
It
And
is.
I thought, I don't have any high hopes for his stuff. In my mind, I was thinking, okay, he'll give us all these assets, and we can just use them, for our imagination to create whatever.
Yes.
But I looked through his, and I thought, okay, I'll give him a chance because none
Hmm.
of this was revealed before the thing came out. Actually, while I was waiting for my package to arrive, this guy on YouTube, Dead Gamer,
Okay.
I, toast him in just about all my Twitch videos because he actually sent me the video where he just like turned the page on camera,
Oh,
turned the page, and so I could read all of it
nice.
before I got it so that I could put my thoughts out because it's like, well, I'd be doing this, and he's like, sure. So he's a good guy.
Oh,
So check him
awesome.
out.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, so Joe Manganiello. So he only had the 10 quests.
Hmm.
My impression of the whole thing was he started out with like he's trying to be kind of cool, kind of cutesy. Like everybody starts in the tavern and there's this gnome and he's looking for a treasure, and it's so goofy
Yeah.
and like kind of third wall breaking. He's very casual. You'll notice if you look at the mentor narrator in the three different quest books. So in the
Hmm.
Prophecy of Telor, he's very formal, very flowery, very proper. In Spirit Queen's Torment, he's a little more casual, and then Joe Manganiello's, he's like winking at the camera. It's just a goofy. My overall impression is that he's making these quests, and he's like the kid in the group that is like so excited to play as Zargon and like put out his adventure,
Yeah.
and you just breeze through it and just beat all his traps,
Yeah.
kill all his monsters, and he's like, what?
What happened?
So he goes back and he rewrites it so that it just kills everybody because the difficulty just ramps up like huge. Like he starts out with some cute ideas, like he's got, oh, you find a mouse and you give the cheese to the mouse and the mouse leaves. It's like, oh, that's a cool idea. And then it's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, monsters, 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 you
Yeah.
know, chaos spell or dread spells,
Dreads.
and so uh, still though, to his credit, it's not as like crushingly difficult as like the Elf Quest pack or the Barbarian
Yeah.
Quest pack from back in the day, because those were absurdly
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
I've never got to
bad as
play
far
them, but
as.
I've heard
I
on
didn't either.
Yield In that this is brutal.
Well, we've dissected them. I've played like, so each of those, Elf and Barbarian, which supposedly they're going to remake Barbarian as well. And
Yes, I want to
good
get into
good
that.
luck.
Yes.
Say a prayer for them, because the way those work is they give you 10 quests,
Yeah.
and the first 3 are solo quests. And they explicitly say, "Oh, this is for a brand new Hero Quest player with a brand new, no gear barbarian or elf."
Yeah.
And you go on these quests by yourself, and by the end you'll have a bunch of gear so that you can join everybody else. And actually, the way it plays out, like if you count up all the body points and everything, it's a disaster. Like, the person is going to get killed over
Killed.
and over again. It's like playing the trial by yourself. It's like, why
Yeah.
would you do that?
Yeah.
You're going to get killed, and a lot of people are just going to get frustrated and not want to play anymore.
Exactly. Or the one guy that
And
goes around and opens up all the doors.
yeah, but the thing about like the Barbarian Quest pack is there's a monster called a Yeti that you can find. Like,
Hmm.
if you open a door and it's like right there, and there's no reason to go in that. It's just like, this is a kill door, because if it attacks you and does any damage at all, you get caught in a bear hug. The only way to get out of the bear hug is for someone else to hit the monster
Hit the
and do
monster.
damage. But since
Oh.
you're by yourself, it's impossible. So you're basically
Oh.
just like sitting there turn after turn, like, okay, I lost more
Dying.
health, I lost, dead. It's like, okay,
Oh.
let's play Risk instead. So they botched that up. So the question is, if Hasbro does the same thing they did before with that quest pack, which is to just woodenly like copy and paste the old game
Hmm.
right onto the page, and then just change the artwork and change a couple of word substitutions here and there,
Yeah.
it's going to be a problem, because all these brand new players are going to go, this is terrible, this sucks, it's too
Oh.
hard. And they're either going to give up on Hero Quest, which means they're
Yeah.
not going to make the Elf Quest back, which is also a very difficult one, or anything else. Or, you're going to get a few people that'll go online and say, how do I fix it? Well, here's what you do. You put mercenaries in the first quest, you
Yeah.
get rid of the Yeti, or you make it so that you can get out of the hold, you homebrew it to fix it. But a
Yes.
lot of people have pointed this out to me. Like, I got a lot of crap from people on Yield, and certain people, I'll say, because I was like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter if the game is bad, you can just fix it, fix it in post. But that's not really the way to make a product, right? You want to
Yeah,
make it
that's
as good
true.
as possible, as balanced, as tested as possible.
Yes.
And when you're dealing with a nostalgic product that everybody loves,
Yeah.
you want to tamper with it as little as possible.
You do. Yes.
But when it's a product that was broken from the beginning,
Yeah.
you got to fix it. And the question is, how are you going to fix it? Because for 3 decades, you've had people who've had their solutions to making the Barbarian Quest pack work. And is your solution going to be the same as theirs, or someone else's,
Yeah.
or how's it going to be? So it'll be interesting to see
See what they
what they
do.
do.
Based upon the release of the game system and the 2 expansions, Return of the Witch Lord and Keller's Keep, they didn't change anything. So
No.
I guess that's speculation on what they may or may not do with Frozen Horror.
Right.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
it's probably going to be the same. I don't know if they could just put a disclaimer at the
Yes.
start saying, listen, when this was made, this was at the tail end of HeroQuest's popularity. We didn't have time to adequately play test it. We
Yeah.
want to hear your feedback. Here are some suggestions.
Yes.
Like, and they could just do it like that and leave it open ended. So it's
I
like
wouldn't even put it in the quest book. I would have just a separate insert.
an errata.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you say that word? I said
Yeah.
it wrong like a million times on my stream.
I would just have a separate insert
ERRAT.
that just it states, like you said, hey, we didn't play test this right. Here's a couple of suggestions that you can do to make it playable.
But this is a faithful recreation from
But
1992.
otherwise, this is yeah. Speaking of the
So
recreations, I guess on the game system itself, what did you like about? Let's get specific, maybe about the figures or the furniture or things like that. What were you really impressed with?
Okay. Yeah. I guess yeah, it's Good question. I like the fact that they were made out of a kind of a bendy plastic
Okay.
instead of the stiff plastic that we originally got. I mean, I started out because I couldn't afford to buy the Barbarian Quest Pack and the Elf Quest Pack, but I wanted to recreate them on my own.
Okay.
And so I was using the Reaper Bones
Yeah.
miniatures from
Mhm.
Reaper Miniatures, the rubbery,
Yeah.
and those were so good. They were like so easy to paint, I thought, and they're so durable compared to metal and everything, and
Yeah.
fairly inexpensive. And the fact that they went with a material almost exactly like that
Yeah.
just kind of felt proper because those things are going to get mangled. Now, a lot of people complained when they took them out of they were in that like vacuum sealed like tray, and you just like you have to put so much force to rip it out. Some people said they were broken. I think because they were pre-assembled, like they weren't on sprues, and so they were like pre-glued, and some of them were really poorly glued together. But a lot of the swords were bent, a lot of the stuff. But you just dip it in boiling water, and you dip it in the cold water, and it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I like that. I like the fact that the dice were plastic
Okay.
instead of wood because as cool as wood dice are, I mean, those things got yellowed, the paint came off,
Yes.
they got
Couldn't even.
nibbled by pets, all that
Yes.
stuff. I didn't like the fact that sorry, this is stuff that I do like. Let me.
Okay.
Yeah, so I like the fact that the dice were plastic. I like the fact that the character sheets were slightly larger.
Yep. Yeah.
The
You're right.
larger board wasn't a big deal for me, but okay,
Yeah.
it's a little larger.
Yeah.
Stuff doesn't get as crammed. That's a nice feature. And the fact that it's a quad fold, I mean, I was kind of questioning that, but it doesn't take up as much room,
No, I
so you can
know.
kind of put
Yep.
it away. As far as the miniature designs, a lot of the CGI, like pre-render things that they put out were really exaggerated and dynamic, weird looking.
Mhm.
Which, if you don't know what I'm talking about, look at the artwork on like the monster cards or the hero cards, and then
Mhm.
compare it to the miniature. Like
Yes.
it's much more subdued, more. I think they look pretty decent.
They do.
I think that the designs look pretty decent. Like I complained about the goblins. I thought, okay, they got these big cartoonishly large heads and
Yeah, they
everything.
did.
Like they look like they don't belong, and they look like they belong in some other fantasy game. But
Yeah,
they look pretty close to the original goblins, actually.
they do.
Um, the fact that they had like the female characters, some people were like, okay, no, what does that mean? What are they trying to say? Because once you get into the political stuff, like it gets really ugly really fast with a lot of
Yeah.
franchises. And I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole, but just to say, I know that there's like, I have a little niece, and when she plays a game, she's like, I want to be the girl. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, if you have the girl character, that makes it accessible for
Yeah.
some more people. So I didn't mind that. In
My
fact, I
daughter
was,
that's what my daughter did too. She grabbed
yeah,
all of them. All of her heroes were girls.
yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
that's
But
cool.
you could always do that. It's just you
Yeah.
had to use your imagination. It's like, no,
Yes.
no, my barbarian is 7 feet tall and he's got a mohawk and an eye patch. It's like, well, okay, now I got to paint him to look, whatever. We did whatever we wanted. But yeah, okay. So there's female orcs, and I was cheering it on. I was like, okay, well, where's the female gargoyle? Where's the,
Oh, good point.
female abomination? Is
Yeah.
Zargana? Is there a version? Because they never actually say if Zargon's a guy or not. They just say
That's true.
the evil sorcerer.
That's true.
Sorceress.
Good.
Sorceress.
See, there we go. Ah.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. It could have they could have gone overboard with that, but
Sure.
I think the fact that they had that was kind of on a trajectory anyway, because we had gotten the female barbarian, we've gotten
Yeah.
the female elf, but since they stopped making those quest packs, we didn't get the female wizard.
Yeah.
I was kind of disappointed that they didn't make them more different. Like if you look at the classic female barbarian from '92, I mean, she's got a shield and a sword, and she looks
Oh, yeah,
different
you're
than
right.
the male barbarian. But the female barbarian that they gave us, she looks pretty cool. I mean, she
Oh,
looks
yeah.
like she could fight, and
I
she
like
looks
'em.
less like Red Sonja and more like Zula from Conan the Destroyer, I guess.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
One guy pointed that out. I was like, that's
That's a
how I'm gonna paint
good.
her.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good classic reference. What about
Yeah.
the furniture? What was your thoughts on the
Oh,
furniture?
the furniture. I forgot all about the furniture.
Yeah.
Well, I was concerned that it was going to be too big. Like,
Okay.
it's kind of a weird thing to think about because I have the classic set and I have the current set, so it's like I could just mix and match, right?
Yeah.
But I was thinking, well, the new furniture is going to be too big to fit on the old board. But actually, the furniture is almost exactly the same size,
Ah,
and in fact,
nice.
sometimes it's slightly smaller.
Okay.
Even though it's the fact that it's solid plastic, I don't know, it's kind of good and bad because
Okay.
yeah, the cardboard furniture is a little more flimsy, maybe not as durable. It's cool to see the plastic, sculpted and everything, but
Mm-hmm.
now you got to paint it because it has less color now because it's just the whole thing
Ah,
is one
yeah.
solid color. and the skulls just kind of like sit on top. They don't like screw in. There's no
Yes,
pegs.
I know. I haven't put
And
those
the
on yet,
rats.
just because I was like, well, I don't know exactly.
Well, you
Like you
shouldn't,
said,
because according to Joe, you're gonna have to. Some of those rats are gonna like move around
move
the
around.
maze and
That's
do stuff.
true. That's true. Yeah, yeah.
The
Okay.
skulls, I
But
guess you could glue those on if you want, or use sticky tack, poster
sticky
tack.
tack. Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
maybe. But yeah, I guess the furniture is more boring now, I suppose.
Okay.
But I don't know.
That's true. It's
A
not
lot of
colorized, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people complain because they said, "Well, I don't want to have to paint all this to enjoy it." Like, and so early on when they announced, okay, everything's gonna be color coded just like the old game, I think that was a sigh of relief for a lot
Yeah.
of veteran players,
Yeah.
because some of us love to paint and some of us just couldn't be
Yeah.
bothered. Really.
I'm not a painter, so I'm like I just keep it all plain. So and
Yeah,
it's what works for me.
I'm starting out, but I guess the nostalgic part of me is, well, I don't want to paint it too much or make it too different. I mean,
Yeah.
you see in the background, you guys can't see it,
Yeah.
but I have a picture of some classic HeroQuest miniatures that are painted,
Yeah.
and actually those came painted. Like I got it on eBay cheaper because
Ah,
someone else had painted it, and
had painted them
most
all.
people they either wanted the original colors or they wanted to paint it themselves. But
Yeah. I'll
it's fine
send those to me and I'll put them in the show notes so the listener can
for fun.
take a look.
Sure. Yeah. So I was pleased with how the furniture turned out. They
Yeah.
didn't deviate too far from anything as far as that goes.
Yeah.
That's all I was gonna say. Yeah.
What about let's go on the negative side. What about some of the bad things on the figures or the furniture or the board? What
Yeah.
are some negatives that you didn't like?
So it was kind of weird that they put the HeroQuest logo on the side of the board instead of at the bottom.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like on the edge.
Yeah, you're right.
And somebody actually took the time to actually ask one of the designers why they did that, and they responded
Oh.
back, well, just because the scale of it, we could make the squares bigger, easier that way.
Oh.
But, oh, okay.
Okay. All right.
Makes sense to
Yeah.
still keep it a square size, I suppose.
That's true because the new quest is the box is square more than rectangular, like the
Exactly.
classic. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So instead of being like a rectangular board that folds in half, you've got this square board that folds into fourths.
Yep.
And so then the HeroQuest logo, which tells you where Zargon, the GM, is supposed to be, is like split in half and it's on the side.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
you can still orient it. He's supposed to sit in a certain spot and everybody else, sits around him.
Okay.
Yeah. Negatives. Yeah, it's hard to say because I guess I've come to terms with a lot of the things that originally I was skeptical about. I
Yeah.
guess some of the designs still I think were better in the original.
Okay.
Like the new dwarf. I mean, he's got this gigantic axe.
Yeah.
It's ridiculously exaggerated.
Yes.
And the way the dwarf looks, I mean, it's more of a cartoony dwarf. So he almost looks like a giant baby. Like his head is huge. And
Kind of like the goblins.
It's not like he's just a small man, next to the barbarian. He's like his own creature, or he's got a giant head. So it's a different interpretation of a dwarf. I don't know
Okay.
if I like that or not, but
Pretty minor though, I guess. On your criticisms, like maybe that's
it
gave you a
very
month or
minor.
so or
Nitpicky.
2 months now to kind of okay.
Yeah, very nitpicky.
Yeah.
Another thing, and I think this one is valid, even though it's very nitpicky, is the dice. The dice have the square corners on them. And why would that matter? Well, the original had the rounded corners. Okay, so I'm not just being a fanboy there, but in the original trailer for the new version, they showed like these nicely rounded corners on the dice. And in fact, in the current trailer, they still show them. It like flies towards the screen and it slowly rotates
Yep.
around, so you can see all the beautiful. And then it goes away, and then you just see the boring, like flat,
Square.
generic dice. I don't know if they roll better or not.
That's what I was just going to ask
like,
you. I wonder if they roll better when the round edges are rounded. I would think.
Yeah.
Just
maybe I'm not. I didn't major in physics or anything, but with the flat sides, I'm thinking of like casino dice. Does that mean they'd be less likely to be like cockeyed? Where you have to roll it again.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can think of why they did it that way, or
Okay.
they just ran out of time or something.
It's probably cheaper just to get square dice.
Maybe.
I would imagine
like
that's
round bases instead of square bases these days, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Originally I was like, why round bases? Well, you can rotate the figure, but facing your opponent has
no
nothing.
value.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah, so
change anything.
whatever. And if you really wanted to, you could take a razor blade and just saw that thing off and put a
Yeah.
flat base or whatever you want to.
But overall, I think pretty positive reception of.
Yeah, very very positive.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of. I mean, some of the new stuff looks like maybe the quality isn't as great. Like Prophecy of Telor looks very good. Fairy Queen Torment looks fairly good, and Joe Manganiello's one, bless him, it looks like it might be a little bit of a mixed bag, let's say.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but that's the extra stuff. The core game
Yeah.
seems to be the fact that is very little has changed. It's like
Mhm.
the highest praise is to say they didn't screw it up. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
trying to say it like that. But I mean, the build quality of most of the stuff, assuming you didn't get a set that was like, they forgot to glue the hand onto the zombie or
Yeah.
whatever. It's like some people got broken sets, and that's unfortunate.
That is unfortunate. I like the
Yeah.
doors. Any comments on the doors?
Yeah, because like the dice, that was a problem back in the day because you had those really narrow pieces of cardboard that formed the doorway,
Yeah.
and a lot of times those would get bent just
Mhm.
cramming it into the box. So a
Yeah.
lot of people are probably grateful for that.
Yeah.
It's all plastic now. Even though
Yeah.
you still can't go through the door, you can't pop
No.
it doesn't the doorway doesn't actually open. It's still Zargon, open the door.
Yeah, I
Done.
got to open it,
Done.
move it. Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. So I guess if you had a criticism, that might be one thing that you're like, hey, let's just put a
They
hinge
could have
on
gone
that.
Yeah, they could have gone the extra mile. Of course, that hinge is going to be very small. Like I have some zombie side Black Plague doors, which are
That's
pretty
true.
fun. But those hinges are very small. Like if you pop that thing open too many times, like absentmindedly while you're playing, it's gonna just break
Pop
right off.
off. Well,
Yeah,
maybe they can
it's
put
like,
that
no.
in an expansion. So, well,
Yeah.
speaking of expansions, so I mean,
Moving along.
last episode we talked about expansions, but now that it's come out and we've seen what Hasbro is going to do, so there's two camps, I guess, in my mind. There's what we would love to see and what Hasbro is actually probably going to do. We talked about Frozen Horror. So I guess what are your I like this section of it because I like the predictions. What do you think Hasbro is going to do? Let's start with Frozen Horror and then we can go on to the rest of them. What do you think they're going to do there?
Oh yeah. Well, my thought is if they're gonna, I'm surprised that they were gonna go with Frozen Horror. So I think
Yeah.
if that doesn't totally kill the enthusiasm of Hero Quest for the majority of people, they're going to do Elf Quest pack, and they've got Stephen Baker, and supposedly he's the one who designed the European ones. So I don't see why they couldn't do Against the Ogre Horde.
Oh, okay. That's what I was going to
Wizards of
ask you,
Morcar.
but isn't there some Games Workshop licensing they have to work with on Wizards of Morcar and Horror?
I don't think it's. I don't know all of the entanglements, but I don't
Okay.
think it's going to be any different for any of those because Return of the Witch Lord had the Warhammer Old World map right on the quest book.
Okay.
And all they did was just erase it for the North American release. And so why couldn't they just do that for now? They will have to convert those European quests to the North American format.
Okay.
But really, it's like fans have already done that with Hero Scribe. It's fairly easy. All you have to do is, just make a couple tweaks here and there. And yeah, there'll be glitches. But honestly, there were glitches in the existing, like the Mythic tier ones. Like sorry, I didn't say that in the negative section, but there's like a couple of quests where there's all this solid rock and they forgot to color it in.
Yes.
Or, there's a treasure chest that has a trap and they forgot to color it orange.
Yeah, and there's also in one of the we were playing the other day. I
door
forgot
missing.
Well,
sorry.
Yeah, and then there's one where it says look for the item in the treasure deck, and it's not in the treasure deck; it's in the artifact deck.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Minor,
well, that's good.
Minor thing. I was trying to find. I'm like, where is it? It's not in the. I don't think this is a treasure. This is an artifact. And I looked through this is an artifact.
You should send that to me because Hispazargon on Eildon is doing a whole thread on all the errors that we found.
Okay, I'll try to remember and send it to you.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, there's missing cards and things too, and that could I already covered that in Twitch, so never mind. But yeah, as far as those goes, so they really could translate those fairly easily, I think.
Okay.
Yes, Games Workshop did the miniatures for all of them, but I mean, that was always the case. It's because you had ogres in Elf Quest Pack and you had mercenaries in Barbarian Quest Pack, so they were still entangled. So if they can do it with those, so I would say they should do all that. And
I'll stop you here. What kind of timeline then are you thinking on these?
Well, they could probably release a couple a year actually when you
Okay.
think about it, because I mean they released 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, like almost 6 in a year when you think
Okay.
about it. Because yes, Keller's Keep and Return of the Witch Lord are basically just more of the same and a
Yeah,
quest book.
they are.
And they gave us 3 extra quest books.
It's
And
true.
they're actually going the route that you suggested, which I think is cool. You
Okay.
know,
Yeah.
kudos. You predicted it, which is having, okay, oh, the hero collection. Here's the Commander of the Guardian Knights, and it's just a
Yep.
box with 2 miniatures and a couple cards in it.
Yep.
So, okay, well, if that's the hero collection, are there other hero collections coming out? So that makes me think they're just gonna, and it, just like before, they're gonna just drop these new heroes in with no guidance whatsoever
Yep.
and just let people figure it out. And if they want it, they'll buy it.
Were you
And you
shocked
could do
to
the
see
same thing
that?
with monsters. And
Yeah, with them. Yeah.
yeah, I was surprised. I was surprised
I was too. I
so
I
quickly.
think that Frozen Horror, from what I hear, is probably going to be first half of 22. Do you think that's realistic? Sometime
Yeah,
between January, well, probably late, probably June or July of 22. You think that's
yeah.
realistic?
Since I don't run a business, I don't know how easy or hard it's going to be for them to do it. I mean, supposedly Hasbro has millions of dollars, but I think if they're smart, my thought would be they would do
Okay.
like what Reaper did and just open up like a factory in the US so they don't have to rely on the supply chain issues that no doubt have destroyed a lot of
Yeah.
their consumer confidence over the last year and a half or so. But
Okay.
I think they really could do it, especially, yeah. I mean, because for all we know, it's done already, and they
It
just haven't told us because they've
it
been
might
so
be.
tight-lipped. We have no idea. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, promise low and deliver high. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess, but I think, yeah, I think that is realistic that they could do it in the first half of
Well, and like you
next
said,
year.
they've got the 4 quests already done. Essentially, they just have to redo them. So
Hmm.
I don't think it'd be too hard. Wouldn't that be great?
No.
Not have to spend $600 on a barbarian quest
Oh
from
yeah, yeah.
eBay.
Undercut. Well, and as long as they keep the stuff in retail, then
Yeah.
they can undercut that scalper market. I mean, I understand people want to make a living, but it's so insidious. It's
Oh,
like,
I
oh,
know.
here's this thing that a handful of collectors want. I'm just going to buy it up and
Okay.
charge them whatever I want.
Yes.
And they'll
So,
pay it too.
oh, they will. They will.
Yeah,
What
it's
do you think?
ridiculous.
What do you think they're now? We got the 4 quests that they've done in the past. What do you think their path is then after that? Once they run out of the old stuff, what do you think they'll do?
I think they'll probably, and I hate to compare it again to Star Wars, but you know how when Disney bought Star Wars
Yep.
from George Lucas, they would come out like every other year. So
Hmm.
you would have a brand new sequel with new characters,
Yep.
and then you'd have a throwback movie to appease the old fans. I mean, that's what they were trying to do. I don't know how successful they were. My
I think
opinion, not very, but that they were trying. The
they're
idea
trying.
was, okay,
Yeah.
new fans, old fans, new fans, old fans. So if Hasbro did something like that, I think it could work because they would, yeah, keep you on the hook saying, oh, hey, remember the Barbarian Quest pack that you always wanted and only saw in those little flyers and never actually played? That's coming out. And in the meantime, whoever that we just reeled in from outer space is going to write a new quest book for us to play,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so award-winning sculptor just designed this miniature, which is going to be another character that you can, and they could just do it like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
as long as they don't do what GameStop did, which was take all these pre-orders and say, oh, just kidding, it's out of stock. It's like, oh great, come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, they need to just figure this whole thing out with easier said than done with the supplies. And as long as people understand that it's going to be available and they can buy it, I mean, this high pressure sales stuff, I just don't think is good for business, really. To say
No,
limited time, hurry up and buy it.
you're
But
referring
but
to the
but
Commander of the Knights thing. Is that what you're
yeah,
kind of?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I ordered mine
I did
in
too.
plenty of time,
I
and
lollygagged and waited 2 days, and I had a heck of a time finding one, but I did find one
no.
finally. But
Good for you. Yeah, I'm just gonna use them as mercenaries,
yep.
honestly. But I do like the knight skill of being like sort of like the Ron Church combat cards, like from
Yeah.
back from Phoenix.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, oh, he doesn't have magic, but oh, he's got a little trick
He's
up
got
his sleeve, and he's gonna do a
yeah.
little. get a shield in the way. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool.
I think your theory is pretty dead on. I think they're gonna, like you said,
Go back and forth.
we're gonna go back and forth. We're gonna do Frozen Horror, then we're gonna do some new expansion with new
Some
figures,
experimental thing,
and just keep going back and forth for the next year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever. But
I think
the fact that it's coming out in retail, and we should have talked about that at the beginning, but that was quite a big controversy or bit of discussion with the group, the HeroQuest groups on Facebook and other places. You had the one side that said, no way it's not going to come out in retail, and other people yes, it's going to come out in retail. And
yeah, I guess I didn't spend as much time in Facebook, but I remember that same kind of thing. I had people just telling me, like, Hasbro never releases their stuff in stores ever anymore. It's only going to be online, and it's only going to be for a limited time, and so get ready to buy it on eBay. And it was just like, wow, okay, darn. I hope that's not true, because they kind of hinted all along it was going to come to retail. So that was definitely a big sigh of relief as far as I'm concerned.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, I could feel like really self-centered and be like, yeah, I got my game that I wanted, haha, but it's like, no, I want other people in the world to appreciate this game, and other people who are nostalgic to be able to just wake up one morning and, oh, HeroQuest, oh, I remember that, and oh, hey, it's just as fun as I remember, rather than, oh, just this really rare collector's item that's totally out of reach, and it's only for this elite people of group of people that follow Hasbro on Twitter, like a cult or something. It's like, it just doesn't seem much fun, to be part of that. I'd rather be just, it's just fun for everyone and very accessible.
I want the 10-year-old me to be able to walk into Walmart like I did when I was 10 years old and buy this game and have fun with it. So that I didn't want it to just be a Hasbro thing. I didn't know much of Hasbro's history on these, so. But yeah, I was just like you. I was relieved, like, okay, it's coming to Amazon. It's going to be in stores at some point here soon.
Yeah, Best Buy is getting it. Yeah, all these places.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I was pretty excited when I heard that. So, but yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it. I think there's a revival amongst the veteran community, and there's a revival amongst new gamers with it. So I'm really happy that it turned out well. I know last year when we talked, I think I was a little hesitant. I was like, I don't know what they're gonna do, and I think you were too.
I don't want to get too excited because it could turn out to be a big disaster. Because so many franchises, the hype builds up and then it just does not pan out. You just end up divided and angry.
Do you think Hasbro actually listened to the fans? Because they, like you said, with the colorization where they had the orcs green and the undead white and the heroes red, I'm kind of thinking they actually were listening to people. Shockingly.
Yeah, I got that impression as well, because part of me was thinking, okay, these guys are smart. They're marketing geniuses. They already have their plan set in stone, but they're going to pretend like they don't know, and they're going to, we listen to you, the fans, but I don't think that that's really how it works. I mean, from listening to some of these stories about these other products that come out, it's like a lot of times the people in charge don't know anything about it, and so whatever they get told, they go, okay, I guess fine, we'll sign it off, do it. But there are people in all of these industries that know what's going on, and the question is anyone listening to them? So if they can connect with people, like there was something like we were talking about Teos and people bad mouthing him earlier, like he was responding to people, and he even got on the forums and was like, yeah, I forgot to put a door there, it's supposed to be right there. It's like, okay, just a little gesture like that goes a long way to building your reputation. And it's just like, okay, whatever else you want to say about him, it's like he's listening. And yeah, when they color coded the stuff, that was another example of listening to the fans. And the Druid, like the first version of the Druid, if you remember the render.
Yes.
And the artist was like very proud of, like, I just wanted to make her look like she just walked out of the gym, with her workout clothes, and people just mocked it. It's like, okay, fine, she's wearing leaves and fur, and it's like, okay, well, that looks better. Good job.
Yeah.
So they're listening.
Which was surprising because Hasbro's a $1 billion company, but the group that's in charge of it
to just ignore it. Yeah.
But the group that they put in charge of it, Avalon Hill, I guess, and the people they hired to do it are really connected closer to the community than maybe we were thought they would be.
Yeah, which is it's a good surprise.
It is.
So yeah, maybe that is a good strategy. You're the big corporate overlords. All you care about is the bottom line, but you farm it out to someone who's maybe a little closer to the fans, a little bit
Mhm.
more willing to listen. Because yes, you will get people that'll just complain endlessly. You can never please those people. Okay, fine. But there's enough voices out there that if you're smart, you know who to listen to, and it's like these are my customers. Maybe I should listen to what they have to say, and
Yeah.
maybe I'm not right about everything.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's like I have an obligation to this community. There's some
Yeah.
give and take that has to happen. It's
Yeah.
not just the pure like artist auteur that just does whatever they want, and who cares if it goes down in flames because no one likes it but them. It's not like that. It's a game. It's for fun for the masses. So yeah, it has turned out a lot better.
It has
Go
turned.
ahead.
Yeah, it turned out a lot. I was not. I was real excited just because I've been wanting to see them redo this for 20 plus years, but I was a little apprehensive. But one
Very.
thing we didn't touch on, and I wanted to get your opinion on, was the app.
Mhm.
What do you think about the HeroQuest app, or have you used it at all?
The funny thing is, I don't have a smartphone at all,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I avoided it because I thought I'm just going to waste time on it. I'm going to be like one of these people that's always like in their phone all the time and
Yeah.
be annoying. So I just didn't get one. I just have a regular flip phone.
Okay. Okay.
But for my job, there was something came up and it sounded like I was going to have to get one. And I was like, oh man, I thought, oh, I know, I'll get one of these contractless like burner phones,
Yeah.
just to do the minimum and then throw it, chuck it. But then I thought, oh, in the meantime, I could check out the HeroQuest app. Wouldn't that
Yeah.
be cool? But then it ended up I didn't need it, so I
Okay.
never did it.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I guess you can use like BlueStacks or other emulators to like run it on your
You
computer on
can.
your desktop, but it's
Yeah.
like so slow and there's so many glitches. I just never did
Yes.
it.
I downloaded it onto a tablet I have, and it keeps crashing. So I gave
Oh
up.
shoot.
I'm like, well, I'm just gonna wait, and maybe I'll get it another
So I
time.
guess my uninformed opinion from other people is that it's it doesn't replace the physical game because I wondered
No.
how they're going to do that. Remember, we're going full circle back to is
Yep.
this
We
going to
thought it
be
was an
like a
app.
mobile game?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought this is what it was going to be, but it still says it's all on the honor system. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, move your hero to here, and you're just like, no, I don't want to. So you can like break the game if you don't follow the directions, and they'll say, okay, Zargon does this, and it's like, well, did you kill the monster? Okay, you did. Okay, get him out of here. You know, it 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 would teach like complete noobs how to play the
It
game,
would. Yeah.
and you do get. I mean, I've played HeroQuest over Zoom. I love doing it, like setting up the board and aiming my tripod at the board. Say, okay, is your guy here? No, he's over here. Okay, fine. It takes like 4 times longer, but it's a lot
Yeah.
of fun. But if you don't want to go through all that and you just want to play by yourself, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, there's nobody to play.
Yep.
I'm tired of being Zargon. I just want to play it. Perfect.
Yeah.
But I even say in my Twitch stream, like Zargon's voice is ridiculous. It's like, yeah, you heroes, I will kill you all. It's
Like a
like,
Bond
really?
villain.
Yeah. And I thought, okay, they're trying not to scare the kids, but then get the orc come on. It's like, it's like
Yeah. I think
it's
it's
over the
a.
top.
I think you can definitely get the impression that Hasbro or Avalon Hill, whoever did the app, is they're. It's definitely 1.0. They're really playing with it, and the fact that it
Yeah, yeah.
crashes constantly tells you that they're. And they have some interest in expanding on it. I think they may use it eventually as a map maker. I think that might come.
That'd be fine. That'd be fine by me because I like Hero Scribe. I'm used to it, but probably 99% of people have no idea it even exists,
Yeah.
much less how to use it. And they want to make their own quests, so they're going to be scribbling it on graph paper like we all did
Yes.
back in the day,
Exactly.
or
Except don't write
photocopying
on.
it, cutting
Were
it
you,
out.
were you one that I think maybe it was you? I
Yeah,
can't remember who else that
whited it
wrote on
out.
it, and you had to white it all
Yeah.
out. Yes.
That's the craziest thing. I think one of your questions was, "Have you made your own quests?"
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
if we did that.
Tell us about that. Yeah. Have you done any new ones lately?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I'll say that. Sorry, I'm all over the place. I'll get
No.
I'll
Go
get
ahead.
the last thing out about the app. So the AI for the app is very rudimentary. Like
Yeah.
a monster appears and it just makes a beeline for you. There's no strategic thought whatsoever. So it's kind of like playing against the computer, in Street Fighter, and then you play against a human. You're gonna get steamrolled because
Totally
they don't
different.
have the inventiveness. So yeah, it is what it is. I think it may draw in some more people because they'll
Yeah.
get interested in it and
Yeah.
go
I
on.
think so.
And if they improve it, great. They could
Yeah.
have like, yeah, Zargon is dumb, Zargon is fiendish, difficulty, Zargon is strategic, whatever. Monsters have self-preservation.
Yes.
As far as making quests, so I was realizing when you asked me that question, I really haven't made quests. I was
Oh,
thinking to
okay.
myself, I've spent all this time like digging up notes from when we were kids, and my younger brother, who was the owner of the game, he made all these quests, and he did on a notebook, scribbled on there. Sometimes
Yep.
you could barely understand what it was,
Oh yeah.
but I
I
was
remember.
painstakingly converting that using HeroScribe to like a nice, neat format, and I gave it to him as a gift, saying like, "Here's your quest book that you wrote when you were
Oh,
10 or
awesome.
whatever,"
How
and
many
it
did
was
he
so much
have?
fun.
Just out of other.
I think it had about 10.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I
Cool.
had like 2,
Yeah.
so he was definitely the quest writer in the family,
That's a good idea.
and
Oh, cool.
and I went back to that original quest book where we had written in pen on the blank quest book and ruined it because the
Oh,
first time,
nice.
and then
Yes.
whited it out and then written on top of it again in pencil. So I held it up to the light, like a lamp. I put a lamp behind it, and I painstakingly transcribed it again. So there's like 2 layers. So I got 2 more quests out of that.
Oh, cool.
But that's
Awesome.
what I've spent my time doing. Or I'll see someone else's quest that they posted online and think, that's I could do better, and I'll just like modify it and use it. But so I've been modifying other people's quests. I haven't been
Hmm.
making my own. So I sat down and I actually created a 3 quest sequence for the dwarf, like solo quests for the dwarf.
Oh, cool.
And I'm sending it to some people to see like, well, what do you think of this? So I've written up the notes, I've created the maps, and I think I might have pulled a Joe Manganiello on the first one because there's a lot of monsters. Like
Okay.
I'll just tell you briefly what it is. So it's
Okay.
still set in the HeroQuest universe, and no Power Rangers or Star Wars or anything. It's this there's this stronghold that the dwarf has to infiltrate, and he's not really infiltrating it. He basically just walks up and fights his way in. But like so you're on the outer edge of the dungeon,
Okay.
and you kill some goblins, and then you get a key, and so then the key gains you access to the next circle, and so you're going through that circle, and the monsters are getting stronger. So now you've got
Hmm.
orcs and fimers and things, or I guess abominations if you're
Abominations.
using the remake, yeah. And and then you get another key, and then that gives you access to the inner sanctum where you fight, the big guys. And this was a newer thing that I discovered, which I was trying to see. I'm trying to beat some of the flaws of the original game, like when
Hmm.
you're playing as adults, like the rescue of Sir Ragnar.
Yes.
Most people, once they rescue him, all the monsters are dead, so the alarm goes off, no one can hear it,
Yeah.
and you're just rolling to get to the door. That's it. It's kind of boring.
Yes.
So I thought, well, what if you hid a bunch of orcs in some of those unused rooms, and when the alarm goes off, suddenly these guys get released and the reinforcements
Oh,
arrive,
yeah.
that sort of thing. Or the race against time, it's like, okay, at the 30-minute mark, these guys get released. At the 60-minute mark, these guys get released. If you're
Hmm.
still playing at 90 minutes, these other guys come out,
Yeah.
which makes the game even longer. So I thought, okay, well, what's going to be the plot of this dwarf, solo quest adventure thing? Well, the idea is, okay, you remember Borin's armor. Everybody
Yeah.
remembers Borin's
Oh
armor.
yeah.
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 Well, who the heck is this Borin guy and all his story? I guess in Warhammer he does have a history, but I was like, I can't hear you.
Oh.
I'm going to make up my own. So he's this dwarven alchemist blacksmith guy, and he makes really cool stuff, but he's disappeared, and his stuff is sought after or whatever. So you find Borin's armor, but you also find Borin's helmet, and you find Borin's boots and
Okay.
Borin's axe. Oh, it's not
Like a
there.
shield and
You know,
stuff, or yeah. Okay. Yeah.
different things. So he's acquiring all these artifacts because I'm thinking, okay, just like what the elf and the dwarf solo quests were supposed to be about, is you're building up that one character so that when you rejoin the group, you'll be strong enough to hang
Hmm.
with the veteran players. So that's kind of how I did it. So you gather the stuff, and there's like a second level. So you get to the center, and there's a tomb. It's like, oh, it's Borin's tomb, but his body isn't there, and his famous axe isn't
Ah.
there either.
Okay.
But then this tomb slides aside, and there's a stairway, and you go down or
Oh,
up
cool.
or down. And so
I
then,
love
and
that.
the next quest, even though it doesn't make any sense, it's like, okay, you can still visit the alchemist shop and the armory and buy your stuff. And then, oh,
Yeah.
magically you're back in there. And so in the next level, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think you find some of the stuff, and then you find the rest of the stuff. And the last one actually is just you escaping.
Okay.
So you walk in through the entrance door, like on the edge
Yes.
of the map, and there's nobody around. But when you cross a certain threshold, a door opens, like a room gets activated,
Okay.
and then you cross another threshold, another room gets, and you're like, okay, so the monsters are trying to like come at you,
Yeah.
and you have to find the other exit door and get out of there because you're just going to get mobbed. And you're really
Awesome.
strong at this point because you've
Yeah.
got all your stuff,
You
but
got
do you
all
stay and
boring
fight
stuff.
or do you run?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So as far as still have to play test it because for all I know, it's gonna be a disaster. But I
Still.
kind of know more or less how it's gonna go.
That's cool. So yeah, that's your first foray into kind of a quest, making your own quest on your own.
As a grown up.
That's
anyway.
all right. That's all right.
Yeah.
Well, if you
I
get
was
it
like
done,
Joe Manganiello, I did the. Yeah, go ahead.
If you get it done, I'll put it in the show notes if you get it done by then. Otherwise, we'll just make sure.
Worst quest ever. Just kidding.
Anyway, yeah, about Joe.
I like feedback. Yeah, I was gonna say I like pull a Joe Manganiello when I was a kid because again, that's why I identify with him. And it's funny that it's like he's playing like the 12-year-old from back then. I'm not mocking him. I'm just saying like because I made a quest and it was easily defeated, and so I made the next one like way too hard to try to get even.
I did the same thing.
Didn't go over well.
What makes a good quest isn't necessarily throwing every single monster from the game in there, but that's right. I know I did that when I first started playing it when making quests. It was what makes it interesting is putting a bunch of monsters in. It's like, no, that makes it really boring actually because you're just constantly fighting. And
combat is fun, but you got to work your way to it. It's like just like an action movie. There's got to be a reason for the fight. It's got to be a build.
It's got to be a story. I love your idea with Bourne. We never really hear about him, but we don't know anything about him, and so that's perfect. Just to make him a dwarf, alchemist or whatever that you said. So I love that. That's a good idea.
And I figured just like the armor gives you one perk, like I didn't even say what the perk was. So the armor, it's like plate mail that doesn't slow you down. Okay, so it's like you're cheating there. Well, the helmet, let's say it protects you from falling block traps. It reduces the damage because that's normally something you can't do anything about.
Yes.
And then the boots, they've got like shock absorbers, so when you fall in a pit, it doesn't do as much damage. That's amazing.
Okay.
And then the battle axe, which I can't take credit for, my brother actually thought of that first, is Bourne's battle axe it's light enough that you can hold it in one hand with a shield in the other.
Ooh, okay. Awesome. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, play test with your brother then, right?
Yeah, I'd love to. Yep. Yeah, he and I haven't played in a while.
Well, I'll let you go here, Kurgan. It's been great talking with you. I want you to plug your Twitch stream and your YouTube stream because if you're listening to this now and you want to really deep dive into variants and rules and all sorts of other things, talking with Kurgan now, we just barely scratched the surface. But Kurgan, your streams, you really get into deep dive. Yeah. So let everybody know where they can find you on those two platforms.
Yeah, and really, I mean, I'm not even an expert on this stuff. Most of this research is just stuff I've done in the last few years. So if you can come in and school me on it, even better. We'll have a conversation. So yeah, it's twitch.tv/HeroQuest is my Twitch stream. So just look up HeroQuest Fans, you'll find it. We also have a Discord channel, which is called HeroQuest Fans. That's a little harder to find. You may have to go onto yeoldin.com, go to the forums, and just look up HeroQuest Fans Discord. You'll find that. And then on YouTube, it's actually XSC, the number 3, home of HeroQuest Fans. So if you look that up, or follow the link from Twitch, you'll see all the old videos that I've streamed that are only on there for 2 weeks before they delete them until I become an affiliate. But I got to get 50 followers for that, and I've only got like 6 or something right now. So join up.
Well, I'll put a link in the show notes, Kurgan, so that everybody listening to this can go and check all those out and get in touch with you. And
should I type it in the chat here, or just...
well, whatever you want to do it, either way. But I really want to encourage people to go there. I know I listened to and watched your video on Mentor. That was always a controversy on way back for the old timers. Was the guy on the card, was that Mentor or was that Zargon? Who is it? And
I was disappointed by that. He'll always be Zargon to me. The evil Santa guy is Zargon.
Evil
Santa I realized it was always intended to be Mentor and then Morcar, Zargon, or Grimdead, as he's known in the Japanese version. We don't know what he looks like. He could be anything.
This is what you'll hear and see on the YouTube and Twitch channel. Yeah. These little nuanced things but when you talked about that Zargon Mentor thing, I was like, oh, I remember that when I was a kid. I was like, which one is he? And then the Marvel special and just all sorts of things.
Personally, I think Stephen Baker, I mean, he's clearly a D&D fan. He's also clearly a Tolkien fan. Like if you go through Prophecy of Telor, it's really obviously Lord of the Rings inspired, and it's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Like it's not just a rip off, it's actually fun. So I wouldn't be surprised if the original idea was Zargon or Morkar is basically Saruman and then Mentor is Gandalf. Like that would
Okay.
make perfect sense to me. And yeah, he could go on and on. But or maybe he looks like Skeletor. I mean, he could look
Yeah.
like anything. You know.
I saw that. I'm like, ooh, that's a different take on that Marvel
Yeah.
winter special. And I didn't see that till like the late 90s, early 2000s. I didn't even know it existed.
Most of that stuff. Yeah, I didn't know it existed either. It was.
Yeah.
I think you're maybe like 4 years older than I am, and I'm probably like a decade behind you as far as like community lore. But I'm catching up fast. So
yes, you are,
been
man.
fun.
You're amazing. You really deep dive into all this stuff. So I really appreciate your feedback on this, and definitely want to do this again, especially if the prophecies come true and we see Frozen Horror and ElfQuest and all the others come out. That would be great to check it all out again. So
Oh yeah.
so maybe
Absolutely.
one of my predictions came true, I guess is what you're saying on that one.
Oh yeah, I think so. I think you definitely have some insight into the. I mean, definitely have predicted some things accurately. So good on you for that, as they say.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks, Kurgan. And definitely check
thanks,
out
Lee.
his stuff, people. So if you're listening to this, check out his Twitch, YouTube, and Discord channels. And if you're a new fan or old fan, whatever, or if you agree or disagree with us, let us know. We're always open to input, right?
Yep, for sure. Gives us more material to work with.
Exactly. Cool.
All
well,
right,
thanks, Kurgan.
Thanks a lot. Yeah,
Appreciate
good luck
it.
with the podcast.
Thank you.